The traditional model is dead. We now live in a modern society model. In the past, men were working and providing for their family, and women were taking care of the household and the education of the children. But we now live in an era of sexual freedom. This model has been completely destroyed in the Western modern society we live in. What was the shift that occurred to change the paradigm? It's when the Matrix decided that they needed the whole population to work. As I told you, most women weren't working at the time, which means that about 50% of the population weren't paying wage taxes. A few decades ago, the Matrix began to promote women's work at a large scale. And that is how the era of woman emancipation and sexual liberation came to us. In the past, every man could be seen as a provider and a protector. But now, any woman can make a living or earn as much, if not more money than a man. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. The problem is the consequences of this model. The modernity of our society evolved far too quickly compared to our brain structure. A lot of people don't know that, but we still have the same cerebral structure as our caveman ancestors. This has been proved by many scientific studies, and this is where things become tricky. We are all biologically programmed. The female reproductive strategy is far different from the male reproductive strategy. This is because the cost of reproduction is much higher for women. They get pregnant, and they have to carry a baby for 9 months. They have to be more demanding in order to survive. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to protect themselves and their children. That's why their biological instinct drives them to breed with the best progenitor possible. By that, this means the highest status men they can find. That's what we call hypergamy. That's the reason why women tend to be attracted by men who earn more money than them, even if they already earn a very good living. In a more general way, women are attracted to men who are superior to them because they feel the need to be protected. That's why they tend to prefer men who are taller than them. That's why they like men with a high level of self-confidence. And for the same reason, they prefer when a man earns more money. They fall in love with a man who is fun and capable of protecting them. That's how hundreds of years of evolution have programmed them. Another important factor that led us to the situation we live in is the sexual revolution. The Matrix have brainwashed a whole generation of women to think that they are the same as men, which of course is not true. Men and women are different. They don't have the same biological and hormonal programming. Men tend to be polygamous because the cost of reproduction for us is low. Our best strategy to transmit our genes is to try to have sex with as many women as possible, and having a lot of women is a very difficult thing for a man because you have to match the great expectations that women can have. You have to be a high-value man to put yourself in that position. However, the Matrix taught to women that they must live their life like a man. They called that sex revolution. They made believe to women that having sex with as many men as possible is a good thing. As a result, many modern women are living against their biology and hormonal programming. The traditional model is now considered weird. Folks will see as an anomaly a young married woman who is a mother at 25 years old. They will say that she wasted her youth. Whereas in many countries, this will be considered as a completely normal thing. In Western society, values have been reversed. There is nothing more easy for a woman than having sex. Even an unattractive woman will have more attention than a good-looking guy on a dating app. You have to understand that there is now a huge sexual asymmetries between men and women. As I told you earlier, all women will only be interested by an extreme minority of men. As a man, the world has become highly competitive. With online dating, women can now be reached by the top 1% of men anytime. As a man, it has become much harder to find a woman to have a romantic relationship with. The average man is now invisible to the majority of women. They are completely left out. The statistics of dating apps are glaringly true. On Tinder, for example, 10% of men are getting 60% of likes, which means the 90% are only getting 40% of likes. As a normal man, you have to put a crazy amount of time and effort to get a woman, and the result could be disappointing in some cases. And on the other side, average women are receiving infinitely more attention from the opposite sex. They have a biased conception of their values because of this over-solicitation. They don't give attention to normal dudes. That's how we end up with miserable men who are willing to pay women just to feel visible. They give up the challenge that is life and behave pathetically. They subscribe to OnlyFans and make donations on Twitch. They give money for nothing to women that despise them. But if you are aware of this, you can still take advantage of this situation. You now have the obligation to become the best version of yourself. You have to become the type of man that a woman will want to be with. As a man, you have to be excellent. That is your duty. This is not too late. You can become better by making the right choices. Focus on yourself. Develop exceptional expertise in a field. Build your confidence by achieving your goals. Don't let others distract you from your path, and you will end up in a position of abundance. If you think this video is relevant, subscribe to the channel to show me your support. You can also leave a like and comment to show me your love.